Hey everybody, it's Mike from Landing Custom Classics. Our boat impeller and the whole water pump kit came in from Amazon today. So let's get this lower unit all put back together, put it back on the speedboat here so we can take it out and take it for a spin. I got one piece left on here still. Got the nuts on here so don't lose them. Set those down. Okay, so I've matched this up. This kit wasn't actually even matched my part numbers, but I took the 150 horse I had apart to see, and it had different part numbers, and all the parts were the same. So we went on Amazon, and they wanted $70 on one site for just this impeller, and I got the entire water pump kit for 35 bucks. So first, when you pull these out to inspect them, the way you tell, you look at these for, well, this one has pretty bad cracking on it from weather, getting old. But the biggest thing with these impellers, if you pull them out and they're still good, these wings pop right back out where they should be, nice and straight. As you can see, this one's warped. What that does, your water gets in there, especially when it starts warming up and it's spun for a while, and these don't catch the side with enough force to push good water pressure. So once your impeller gets to where it's warped like that, doesn't matter if there's no weathering, nothing, it's bad. So you always test that, spring it over, make sure it's good. The other thing you want to make sure before you assemble this, what direction your engine's going to be turning this shaft. And ours is going clockwise. And I'll show you why that's important here in a minute. Okay, so we got our gaskets here and our plate. Got them the same as the one we just pulled off here. This lower gasket was modified, has a little better chamber on it, I believe, than the original. We're going to slide that down. Now you can reuse this metal plate if you don't have a new one, because you just got to check it for wear. You got to make sure there's no little sharp edges or anything on there where it's deformed or gotten rough, where it's going to tear up this rubber impeller. Tell you what, that new one, it's a lot tighter to get on there. We'll check everything out here. Okay, it's got a pin here in the back. I don't want to go on. There it goes. Being a little rough on me here. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to pre-fit everything and try to show you guys how to do this without knowing where you could have problems. Okay, front pin is the same way. Real hard to get on there, but you want these to fit good and tight. You want a good seal. Make sure your gaskets are in good shape so you don't have any problems. Okay, now that we got that in place, we're ready for our water pump impeller. We're going to set that on there, and we got this little key here that goes on here to hold it. We're going to get our hole lined up there. Make sure we get our key on there and it's good. Okay. Now we're going to put this housing on here. And on the bottom of this, it has a little pin in here. You're going to push this in here good. Make sure it's seated in that pin properly. And then also it has this little rubber grommet that goes in here to seal around the thing. And there's one side here that's smaller. That goes down toward the water pump. That's going to press in there. And then my model didn't have it. The 150 horse did. All this is a little guide to help you get that copper tube in there for your water. And without that, it's a real pain in the butt to try to get that copper hose lined up. So we're going to set this on here, make sure that all stays in place. Got it backwards here. Now, I forgot a step here. Hold on. Glad I caught that. This is a very important step here. You're going to want to take and put some Dawn soap on this. You don't want these things dragging at all. Having resistance on this thing is the worst thing you can do. So just take you some Dawn and get this sucker as soaked up as you can. Don't want to waste it, but Gotta get good soap on there so it slips good, and then when you turn it over especially, it won't be dry. So just get her all good and coated there. And it don't matter, it's the same both ways. So it doesn't matter which side you put up. A lot of people will tell you, like with the warped fins, they'll tell you you can flip them over and stretch them out the other way and get a little more use out of them. It's not recommended because you're probably not even going to make it a whole season. And when you overheat these engines, there's a big possibility that they will be shot. Okay, now we were talking about that this turns clockwise. So this is where this comes in play. A lot of people worry about which direction these fins have to move. Well, if you press down on this and turn this clockwise like your engine, it walks itself right in there. And we're going to put our little nuts on here. These are 7/16. And then we got our bolt here. It goes in this corner. Here's our 1/2-inch socket. Snug this up. Make sure your ratchet's going the right way. Snug that baby up. Okay. And then we can do our 7/16 ones here. Get it right into the ratchet there. Before you get it too tight, make sure all these are catching threads in that. So you get something tight and then you got to wiggle it a little to line it up. Then you got to loosen everything back up. So don't tighten anything too much until you're done getting everything threaded. This guy just keeps it turning there. Might be the wrong bolt for this one. This might have come out of the other motor there. Toss me the other. I didn't look at the end of them to see if one was a different size. I just seen that one was a little longer, and yeah, this one fits a little tighter. I got all the parts for 2 motors here, so I kind of gotta figure things out. Okay, there we go. Now, get this baby tightened down here on the front. Okay. You want to make sure everything goes on even and everything's smooth so you don't have any leaks there, because that's really important that this doesn't leak. Not too tight because it's just a plastic housing. Then we'll go back and make sure that 1/2 inch is getting tight. Okay. And there you go. That's how you get your water pump in there. Now this might take more trying to get this back in the motor, because trying to get this shifting deal just right, it has a lot of motion there, so I'm kind of thinking I need it fairly tight. So my shifter, these shifters, they tend to move when you pull the boat apart. So got to try to get it right. And it's hard to turn this by hand because it actually has springs in here. If you've ever seen the inside of this, it actually has some springs in there, and it just pushes a piece a different direction for forward or reverse. So I'll get this motor up, and then we'll get this installed. All you're going to do is literally slip this inside here. Once you got this shifter just right, all you got to do is bolt it up and then take it over and hook it on the water and see how she runs. Oh, we'll do this too real quick over at this little ring here. It goes on the shaft here. Fits tight too. That's going to sit on top of your water pump. Should put a little Dawn on that, make it slide a little easier. Yeah, there you go. And then there's a little O-ring here that goes on this top piece, just so you guys don't miss that. We'll be right back here as soon as I get this put in. Okay, so we have the water hooked up here. I got the ear muff down here that covers the holes on the lower unit. You hook it up to the hose. There's also another deal they do. It's on the other side here, but there's actually a bolt that goes right into the water pump. And some of them have just a little nozzle you thread in there, and it'll run water straight into the water pump. So here we go. I'm going to try firing this up. Got to hook our fuel up here, I guess. We got to pump up our pressure so we got fuel to our carbs. Come on, you bugger. These fittings can be a bugger sometimes. You got to make sure you keep these the pump ball and hose out of the weather because they'll rot real quick. We're going to pump up our carbs full of fuel here. Really hot, so it kind of comes out of them real quick. Okay, there we go. Got fuel in our carbs, got my throttle up here. I got to find the screw because the screw popped out the back for my keep my shifter in place here. So let's see where we're at here. 1 second. Okay, we're gonna pull this back up into, should be neutral here. Okay. Let's try to fire there. Go to grab the shifter, it just falls off now. Give her some throttle here. Give her a little. Well, they're squirting there. Might not have got enough water up in, or fuel up in here. Yeah, I think we're good now. She's squirting. Okay. Pushing good pressure. Okay, so the one problem we have, I think our linkage may be about a tooth or something out, but we're not kicking into reverse, so I may have to drop that down a little and do a little working on that. Might have to look at the procedure. I might be able to adjust the linkage just a little bit and make it work, but As for forward and neutral, she'll go. So I might have to click that into neutral, set my shifter on my lower unit for neutral, and then try to pop her in there. But I'll get that worked out. We'll go for a nice test ride. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Catch y'all next one.